Yo, what's up, family? How you doing? Right? So look, we pretty much gonna be talking about, how to properly read a promissory note, right? And this is for a lot of people who about to get into an auto loan agreement, or those who already, starting an auto loan. I just want to pretty much go over the terms and agreements, right? Now, I know it sounds fun, once you get the idea, okay, dang, I got approved for auto loan, which car I'm about to get, and etc., right? Now, it's fun when you first get the vehicle, but then when you got to go through the consequences and repercussions, that's why you want to understand contract. So right now this is how it works. Once you apply for a vehicle online, right, whether it be a federal credit union, a regular bank account like far as Chase, Wells Fargo, once you get approved for a loan, they're going to either give you something called a draft check. That means they're going to give you a draft check for the approved amount, and they'll pretty much let you shop around. So if you choose to go to Toyota, Ram, whatever dealership you want to go to. Now, more traditional banks has a specific dealer that you might want to deal with. So if you want to deal with Ram, Jeep, or whatever company you want to deal with primarily, right? So once you choose and pick out the car, what happened is the bank then send you a promissory note in the mail, right? Now, the reason why they'll send you a promissory note in the mail is because you didn't get the car directly from a dealership. Going through a dealership, you got to go through way more paperwork, and then you always required to put something down. But I'm talking to the people with A1 credit. So I want you guys to understand this. So a lot of my fellow sovereigns, a lot of us been reading, we've been learning, we've been talking about the Truth in Lending Act, but okay, let's read the promissory note. This is the promissory note, security agreement, and disclosure. This document includes a promissory note, a security agreement, and a truth in lending disclosure. Please read everything carefully. These are additional terms and conditions on the reverse side. You are bound by those terms and conditions as well as those terms on this side. Navy Federal Credit Union is identified in this document as Navy Federal, and the borrower, member / co-borrower, and any grantor will be identified as the borrower. Do not alter this document. Notify us if any change is necessary. Verify all completed spaces, complete signatures where it's indicated, right? So pretty much this is the information of the auto loan that I received. It was for the amount of $65,942, right? Now, this is the exact promissory note that they use to contract you, right? So this promissory note, and you have this signature at the bottom. Now, by signing this note, you give an agreement to all banking institutions, and you also waive your rights while signing this document, because now that's when repossession can take place. So say if a person missed 2 to 3 payments, now the banks have the right to repossess your vehicle because you have read and signed an agreed contract. Having them as a lien holder is one thing, but signing a promissory note is another thing. Because without any contract, the banks can't necessarily repossess your vehicle, right? Even if it's a lien holder on a vehicle, because now they can determine that you have not received the notice, and also you have not received your terms and conditions. Therefore, they cannot move on the repossession. That's something that a lot of people didn't know, right? So let's go over to this one, right? And I want to read some of the most important pieces of this whole puzzle, right? A promissory note is really you stating a promise to pay, right? Whether that be an institution, bank, church, whatever type of contract you have going on. So on the first part, it says promise to pay. Now look at this. The borrowers jointly and severally waiving rights on demand and notice, thereby promises to pay to the order of Navy Federal the amount shown in the truth in lending disclosure on the reverse. The reverse page, with interest on the unpaid balance and the annual percentage rate as shown in the payment schedule. The interest is charged on a daily basis from the date of the promissory note. APR does not affect of deposits required to secure this loan. So this is pretty much talking about your consumer credit report. Now look at this. When a lot of people say, oh, I'm going to use the consumer law to sue them because they reported everything on my credit. I authorize and understand Navy may obtain a consumer credit report to consider me for the products and other services with Navy Federal, right? Also, here's an agreement acknowledgement. Borrower acknowledge receipt of the completed copy of the instrument discloses statement prior to the consummation. The consummation of this loan. This agreement is entered in and shall be governed in all respects by federal law and when necessary to the laws in the state of Virginia, right? Statutory lien, right? So this talking about the lien and everything like that. Notice of claim, trust account, it's talking about the Navy Federal agreement. But let's go down and say a security agreement. But this is the most important thing, right? Boom. This is for the guys, the men and women who fail to pay their loans back, right? This is for the people who want to use the Truth in Lending Act after they found this knowledge, but they already made the contract. Default agreement. The occurrence of any of the following shall be constituted default. Failure to make a payment as specified, violation of any borrower warranty given in this agreement, failure to perform in accordance with this agreement, discovery that any warranty or statement of borrower made in connections with this transaction is incorrect in any material respect, use of the collateral in any manner prohibited by law, limitations on the collateral by being attached, levied upon, seized in any proceeding or held by virtue, right, of any lien, distress, or order, failure to adequately insure and properly register the collateral, suspension or revocation of registration, certificate of borrower, operating license, death. It talks about everything, right? So pretty much when you default on this, your lender, who's the lien holder, if the dealership make them a lien holder, they can cancel out your registration because they have a security interest on the lien, right? Now the words kind of got, confusing at the top. I don't know what happened, earlier. But to be clear as possible, this is what happened when you pretty much default. And it also go with any, on the second line, it's talk about, people who getting their cars repossessed. It's talking about you waiving your rights. You give all your rights over to the banking institution. And so you want to be very careful when you trying to, do this whole, this common law stuff or even understand the consumer law, because now we have to understand that we can't put ourselves in these type of situations if you don't want your car to be repossessed, if you don't want that, those non-payments on your credit report and all that. You want to be safe as possible. That's why I tell a lot of people, do not sign a promissory note. Be careful with signing a promissory note because you want to be, at ease. You really want to know what you're getting yourself into. The car might look pretty on the lot, but when you're looking at these terms and agreements, these conditions and everything like that, you will realize like, damn, I'm pretty much selling my soul for a vehicle. So they sent me this notice, right? I want to say about 5 times. Navy Federal have sent me this notice about 5 times, and I have not replied to not even one. And the purpose of me not applying, the purpose of me not signing it, because once I sign it, I give them the right to repossess my vehicle. I give them the right to contract with me. And also, they can also use this promissory note security agreement to, take you to court. So say if a person don't want to pay an auto loan and they refuse to, the banks can take the initiative to file a civil suit against you by signing this promissory note. So that's why you really want to stay out of these contracts. So if they send you a promissory note, your best bet is to rip that shit up in the garbage and go on about your day, right? So that's all I got to say pretty much, So you want to get yourself out of contracts. You don't want to contract with these people. If you guys can take a little screenshot of this, you can read it yourself. I just wanted to touch bases on this whole promissory note thing. And some people ask, oh man, how did you get a vehicle without signing a promissory note? Because when you apply for the vehicle directly through the bank don't send you the promissory note until you buy the vehicle. Because at first they don't know what vehicle you are trying to get. So once you get the vehicle, all they do is do the financing. Okay, what car is he getting? They're gonna ask for the VIN number. They're gonna ask for the mileage. Okay, and then after they receive that, that's when the banking institution is gonna send you the promissory note. I'm out.